of the stars, through the airwaves and on the big screen. Coming to you live from Hollywood, it's Rated G Radio with your host, Garrett Miller.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Rated G Radio. It's the Wednesday show. If you're listening on the Westar Radio Network, number one, thanks for taking us on your drive home. Don't drive distracted, but I want to thank you in advance for being part of the show all the way across the pond in the UK. If you're listening here in the States, wherever you are listening, we have a fantastic guest tonight. It's somebody that you'll remember from probably about 2 or 3 months ago. It's right before he's getting ready to jet off to some exotic place to go do some philanthropic adventure, and we're going to find out about that and the new projects he's working on. That's Mr. Shawn Hill. He's a SAG actor. That's, well, I should know what SAG stands for, but it's Screen Actors Guild. He's like the real deal, folks. He's a poet, he's an activist, and he is what I call a world changer, and he's going to be doing some events up in Hollywood and getting ready to do some travel and all kinds of things like that. So without further ado, Mr. Shawn Hill, welcome back to Rated G Radio. How are you this afternoon?
Oh my God, I'm beautiful. I'm feeling good. Oh my gosh, I missed you. I feel like I went around the world, and I already missed you already.
You did go all the way around the world. So,
yeah.
When we were talking at last, just refresh me. Because I need naps after I read your post, Shawn, because you do so much, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to either take some green tea pills or have another cup of coffee or something like this, because you wear me out in the best way possible. But what's been going on?
I can't blame you. All right, so yeah, it was. Oh my gosh, yeah, it feels like forever now. But at the end of May, me and a team of 15 people. Of some of the funnest names in Hollywood and in just in the arts and humanities, we all went to Malawi, Africa, and we built a school for the first week that we were there, building the foundation. Actually, not the whole school, right? No one can build a school that quickly. That'd be amazing. So the metaphor here is that you build the school, the foundation with these people, and then they finish building the school themselves, right? And it's, you're not giving something to someone. You're not giving like a charity thing. Okay, here, take this, and now you're happy. It's no, we're creating community by building something together, and it's going to benefit both of us.
So when you go on these trips and you're building the foundations for these schools, I just like to think about you're building the whole school, because I just think that's cool. But the fact that you're building a foundation, how do you get like supplies and resources and things like that to these areas? Because I'm assuming there's not like a Home Depot or a Lowe's, around the corner.
Right. Good. Hey, you are a thinker, good sir. You think about things. Yeah, they actually would. All the resources were paid for, or somehow they were already, the villagers were able to get them there. Right. For example, there's a mountain there where all the rocks that we use to make cement. These people would walk about 2 miles. No, not 2 miles. It was about less than a mile to walk up this mountain and then come back down with these rocks on their head, or however they carry them. And we were trying to carry them the same way, but we were like, our head is hurting. This is not working. And actually come back to the school site, and then we'd make the cement there. There were already bricks that they were making also. There were about 4 or 5 huge piles of hundreds of bricks that they made there in that old-timey like stove oven type of way. And so it was really phenomenal to see the work that they've been doing for the 3 months before we even got there. They had to gather all those materials themselves.
So where did they get stuff like that? I mean, because are they making the bricks out of like dirt and straw and mud and things like that in the local area? How does that all come together?
Yeah, you know what? Through Build On. Build On is the main organization that we even went through to make all that happen. So they knew all the details of what resources were available there for them to bring, what things they would have to bring and actually make happen. It was a lot. It was a lot of planning beforehand. And we had multiple team meetings to even prepare ourselves for what we're getting into. We stayed with a host family, like all of us. There was about 2 people to a family that we stayed with each home. And it wasn't like you're not, you see the Discovery Channel a lot. You're thinking of huts and you're thinking of teepees maybe and stuff like that. Some of these homes were made out of like just strong-looking clay, or some of them were brick homes already, and they had tinfoil roofs. And the one source of light was maybe an old rechargeable solar power light. You know, there
Wow.
was barely any lighting there. I was taking baths under the stars, right?
Yeah.
And like just a two-wall concrete thing, and I was actually given the water. They heated up water for me. My host dad, Abambo, by the way. Abambo means father in Chichewa. That's the language, right? And it was amazing the love that we were given, just so quickly and overnight. We were just welcomed there, and I think when you know someone's giving you something and giving you the opportunity to embrace education, I think our hearts open up bigger than we ever thought. You know, I really believe that now.
So what were the families like, or what were the people like when you're going to? You'd never been there, I'm assuming, before, because you've been to lots of places. This is your first time to the country. What was it like? What were the people like?
Gosh, okay, so it took us, even after getting off the flight in Lilongwe, right? We had to take another few hours to even get to a place that was closer to the village, where we still had to take an 8-hour bus trip to the actual village.
Wow.
Okay, and it was super hilly. You know, these terrains, like the bus would hit a bump every now and again, boom, boom, and we're all like, wah, you know. It took us a while to get there. And then once we did arrive, it almost felt like there was an earthquake of happiness that we were approaching, because the first thing we could hear, Garrett, oh my God, the first thing we could hear were these faint sounds of singing. And they were welcoming us with this beautiful, like, greeting song that they do for people and for special occasions that happen. And it made our heart, like, jump out of our chest. And so some of us literally actually jumped out of our seats to get out of the bus already, because the bus was going too slow over the terrain. We were like, no, we're going to jump out the window right now and join them singing and join them dancing. And I remember my friend Ari Katz, he jumped out. He already started picking kids up and like playing with them and everything. He was like, some of us were really beautifully outgoing, and they were equally, you know, welcoming and receiving. It almost felt like we already knew like so many of them. And of course some of them were still guarded and kind of like, you know, trying to like see how to welcome us in without, you know, giving too much love away. But it was almost like you couldn't help yourself. Like there was a beautiful, like non-existent boundary that we just crossed easily.
So do you?
And the people themselves, I'm telling you, everyone there, they knew how to just connect with you. They knew how to reach out. They would want to teach us things immediately and teach us, like, you know, funny things or languages, like things that we kind of like just had no idea what we were going to be in store for.
You're totally reading my mind here, because that was going to be my question. It's like, how do you communicate when you have, you know, obviously a language barrier with people in all the places that you go? Because it's not like you're going just like down the street to, you know, Beverly Hills or something like that, and you're going to lay foundation for a school. I mean,
right.
How do you find these? I mean, do you have an interpreter, or do you have? I mean, I'm assuming probably you have just some like human things that take place, you know, from a warm smile or hugs or things like that just really kind of break the ice. But how are you able to share information back and forth?
All right, so we had about 3 translators, right? And each night with our family, we would actually be able to talk to our family for a good, I'd say, anywhere between an hour or so to maybe an hour and a half sometimes, like if we had that much time. And it was really, that was like the most engaging part, where we really were able to directly connect with our families, right? With just people that are sheltering us, right, for this time.
Yeah.
But we also had group meetings that were translated with all the men separately and all the women separately. And that was interesting to understand the dynamics of gender and how that works over there, right? And then also we also had small little booklets of language things that helped us out, of small little, you know, phrases that would help us out.
Sure.
You know, good morning and like good afternoon and mwazuka bwanji. Like we would say things like that, and it started becoming effortless. And let me tell you, you might start using this. The simplest way to say hello over there is wawa, wawa. That's it. You're saying wawa, and it felt good. It felt so good. You just say wawa to people. It was so fun.
Goodness.
You would love it.
So did they find you kind of, you know, funny, and not because you're funny and have a good personality, but because, you know, you're coming from, you know, this far off land, and, you know, probably everybody, you know, that was with your team, did they find you funny or engaging or different just because of the different things that you brought to the table?
Interesting. Yeah, I'd say there was a good reading of each other. Like everyone really took time to take each other in. I'd say a lot of people did just see my hair and like already wanted to smile or talk to me about things, and be more outgoing. But a lot of it actually surprisingly wasn't about my afro. Like, yeah, people didn't really care about the afro as much as what we were doing together, or wanted to teach a new food or something. And I would also say that that it felt like even then, even though we could see that they're in this village and no one has like a TV or anything like that, there was still a lot of knowledge that they had about our culture. Like they knew about police brutality and what was going on.
Really?
Over here in the States, they knew about that stuff.
How do they know about that? Where do they get their news?
Yeah, the nearest city is not too far away, and it's man, some people will travel a few hours, or for example, oh my gosh, a mom. I heard this one story. A friend of mine was talking to another person about that lived there, and saying that for a mom when they're pregnant, they actually have to walk down to the hospital, which could take about a day sometimes, to actually get to the hospital that's there in the city, and then as 2 days later after they birthed the child, they actually walked that right back up with the child.
Oh my
goodness! And it was amazing to hear that. And even things like, they have a water pump, and it's like it's good, but you still have to walk to it. You still have to carry buckets back and forth. And so they make things work, and that, you think they, I don't know what else is really needed to know about like the world, I guess, but they hear things, or they find out things, or they have friends that visit and they're able to tell them about what's going on, or, it's really amazing. Like it really was. Oh man, yeah. Good question.
So
good question.
What things did they find surprising about you? And did you have people from other countries other than America, or was it just a team of Americans that went?
Yeah, it was mostly Americans, but there was we had a Canadian, we had we had a few people that were, what was it? I think my friend Tomek was Polish. Who else was it? Another friend of mine, Nathan Chandra, he was Indian.
So you had a bunch of different folks, but did they
we had a good diverse group, yeah.
Did they find anything?
It wasn't like we were all like American.
Did they find anything just really surprising? Because you mentioned, they got their news about the police brutality and all of that was going on. Did they find anything surprising about you that they maybe have revealed towards the end of the trip, that they said, well, we thought you were going to be this way, but it turned out you were that way? Were there any aha moments?
Yeah, so especially for, I'd say more of the Caucasian members of the group, a lot of them had never met anyone of that color before, right?
Wow.
And so what their kind of notion was, this is the best I could reinterpret it, okay? Because remember, this is like telephone. Like I got translated one thing, and then I'm going to try to translate it to you, right?
Yeah.
So from what we understood from this one group conversation we had, that the kind of notion of Americans was that they're very like intelligent at creating things, very inventive, very rich, right? Very just many resources, right? And so at the same time, when we talk to them about race and culture and different their different perspectives on how even the African American community is treated in America, they said we felt like the white people would chew you up. We feel like they devour you, and you are still slaves over there. And that hit some of us really hard. That hit some of us amazingly hard. And I was one of them. I was definitely one of the group. And I didn't even know how to take that when I first heard it. And then after this like experience, now knowing that these Americans have come over here and wanted to give school and education and make sure that their village benefits from this, they said now they have a whole new perspective on us.
Oh my gosh!
Now
I've got tears
we
in
won't
my
look
eyes
at you the same. Yeah,
oh my
man.
goodness. What were now let's flip the coin, because everybody usually says, well, what did you find really surprising over there? Well, I have about 50 by the way, how long do we get to chat tonight? Because I know you have to run off.
As long as you want, until I'd say 6:15 maybe I can push, and then I have an event at 7. Yeah, but we got plenty of time. We're going to talk.
show stops at 6, so the show's
Okay.
only an hour. So even if we wanted to
do
go
that.
longer, we can't do that. So that's a good boundary then. Okay, so lots of questions then. So I'm going to ask you about food in a second, and we'll ask about that. I'm going to ask about like going to the bathroom and not like going to the bathroom, but But before we get to that, what were things that you found surprising about the people that you got to meet over there? Because you're completely immersed in the culture. You get to stay with the host family. So you're seeing life. Real life. It's not like, okay, we're going to put you up in the Taj Mahal and we're going to pretend, like we're in North Korea that, this is the best country in the world and we don't have any poverty or strife. You're actually living right there in the middle of exactly what's happening every day.
Yeah. I would say the first thing that came to mind was like my idea of what poverty meant. Mm-hmm. My idea of like seeing, an African person that's poor totally changed, because I see these families, they're playing soccer, they're bonding with their families, or joking around and things like that. And really the only notion of what I think our comparison of what poor is in America is when you want something and you don't have it, mm-hmm. or if you need something and you don't have it, right? And I felt like they had food. They had, they even had chickens and goats and things like that. And, the water was there. They had water. There were crops they would get. Every now and again, crops would be tough, depending on the season, of course. But everything that was really essential and basic was there. Like they were able to get that. And not, I feel, in my opinion, of course, feel like it was everything that was needed was there. So then, like, what was really, oh no, poor, poverty, it was more like, oh my gosh, they just want the basics of life. Education is one of those things that maybe it feels like if you don't have that, then you could be feeling poor, then you could feel, with that lack of knowledge that you're starving for more. And I started looking at that notion differently, spending time with these beautiful people. And even the families, the way they knew what was important in life, Some people said, yeah, we'd like to have a car or do like, have these nice frivolous things, right? But, at the end of it, when we had like a serious, sincere conversation with a good number of them, the number one thing that we'd always hear is I'd want to just provide for my family. I want to make sure my kids can do what they want to do. I talked to one kid and they said they wanted to be a doctor because in case anyone in their family gets sick, they would be able to help them, Really just simple, powerful goals. And I felt like when you have something like that, like, I don't know what else I need. I don't know what else I need in life,
I mean, how powerful is that? I mean, because, we all have our Western values about, what it's like to be poor or whatever, but, you have such a completely different perspective going over, and it's like, we've got shelter, we've got food, we've got a community, we've got we've got family, and we have friends, and at the end of the day, what more do you need? So let me, Sean, what do people do? Is there industry that people go to work at over there, or is it more agricultural where they're just really more of a farming, raise crops, raise livestock, that type of thing for the local village?
I'd say, a good number of that is the basic type of stuff. Like you said, farming. There was a tailor there that would do all the clothes. They had one guy that had a store that would sell a lot of like international items and like lotions and teas and things he would actually buy from the city store that's like hours away, right? And he actually transported all of that on the back of his bicycle. Oh. So his little store that's like, maybe 10 by 10, packed with all this stuff in it, he made that store literally bit by bit. And so what else was it?
Go ahead. How do they make money to go to a store? That's the thing.
It's starting that city that Malawi is getting more industrialized. Like I saw there was a slaughterhouse like getting there and like these things of how to even manufacture meat and selling that. And I saw a lot of stores coming about that were, these like supermarket looking chains that just were like one every few, maybe every mile or so. And they're very spread out. You wouldn't see anything for a while, and you'd see more stores or something like that. We went to like a club that looked like a club, but it was like a big open space. There was a single bar area and maybe 4 or 5 tables. Really simple type of industrious things are happening right now. And my whole thing, of course, is that I get concerned about how much of the negative Western ideologies they're taking from us,
Sure.
in terms of capitalism and that, putting profit before people kind of feeling that tends to happen a lot. That's definitely a concern. But it felt like they wanted more of those things. But at the same time, it's, like I told you before, that contrast of needing money. Well, what do you need money for if you have food, family, and shelter,
Right.
So I don't know how much of that mentality is leaking into it over there, or how much they really are like, no, we need money, we need more money. I don't know. That was really interesting to dive into, though.
I think I would like to spend an entire hour talking about that, but since we don't have that luxury of time, and we have so much more to talk about here, let's get to the important stuff, like what did you eat? And, refrigeration, and how did you poop, and all of that stuff.
All right. So
I can ask you this because you're my friend. I couldn't ask just any. So I'm thrilled.
And by the way, no question is off books. You could ask me anything. I'm totally comfortable answering everything. I'm that guy.
Okay.
Believe me, as a poet, I've probably talked about worse things. Like worse emotional, vulnerable, amazing, sad things I would cry about. But yeah, so the main food there was zima, and it was basically this rice patty ball that they would make and lump into a ball, and then you just bite into it and then eat your vegetables with it, or eat your eggs with it, or something like that. And very vegetable based diet actually over there. And what else was it? And there were certain types of the veggies, we had a veggie soup, and there was noodles there, and we actually had our own cook there that was from the same culture. But we had to cook our food separately because we heard about an outbreak of cholera not too far away. And, it's better safe than sorry kind of deal, of course. And they were being really overly cautious, actually. So even the cholera outbreak wasn't likely to affect us, but, it's that kind of safe and really secure mentality that Build On gave to us. We felt really comfortable with this organization. They really provided well and above and beyond the Call of Duty, What's up?
Did you need any special vaccinations or things like that before going over there?
Oh, yeah. We had a couple of vaccinations. Most of us were up to date on things. I think I got the Tdap one, and there was another one. I don't remember. It was so long ago now. But yeah, we had a couple, 2 or 3 vaccinations that I had to do. I think I had to follow my hepatitis B. Yeah.
Okay, but nothing crazy. Because you probably started having to get the crazy shots ages ago before your first trip, but now you've probably got everything lined up. So how far in advance before the trip did you have to have the shots? Because it's probably not okay, I'm getting on a plane at 3. I'll go to the doctor at 1.
Yeah. Oh no, the shots actually. I think you could have done them anytime, maybe within a week of going. But then the malaria pills actually we had to take 2 days before going into the place. So you had to take it on time every day. If you took it in the morning, you had to take it in the morning. If you took it at night, you have to keep taking it at night. We'd have a reminder thing. Everyone, malaria, you took your malaria. Try to remind everybody all the time. That was huge. That was a big thing actually to think about.
So did anybody get sick on the trip?
Oh, you know what? People got sick, but it wasn't for the reasons you think. Someone... You know what? I'm okay. I might... Should I put it out there? I don't know. I don't think she...
Oh, go ahead.
She wouldn't think anything of it. Our good friend, Brianna, she totally ate some ice cream at a city nearby, and it was just not the smartest move. There was no reason for her to have this ice cream out of just it was pure desire. There was nothing else. She just really wanted the ice cream fix, and it was it was really funny because she had the poops for the next couple days.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
so is it just like when they say, you go to Mexico, don't drink the water, don't do this unless you're at a resort that has a purification system? Did you have pills you would put in the water and things like that to make sure that you were able to have your food purified?
Oh yeah, it was not the food more as much as the water. The water we had a water filter filter trace. filtration unit. Yes, we definitely had to do that with the water. Food, everything we brought there, that was, it was already healthy. Everything that's like canned, well preserved. If it was really heated up, also, that helped out.
So did people, and I've had friends that have gone on business trips to like India, and their employers or the people that have gone over there and come back have always says, take a lot of cheese and crackers, those like in the little plastic containers, because you're going to have to eat that because you can't eat anything when you're over there, otherwise you're going to get like so sick. So did you have people that kind of went on the extreme and said, I've got to take an extra carry-on or I've got to take an extra check-in baggage because all I'm going to do is have these little cheese and cracker packets that I'm going to eat the entire time I'm over there?
Actually, that was actually looked down upon because you're supposed to be embracing the culture, embracing the food there. Yeah. So they told us beforehand, make sure you don't do all that stuff. Just if you're bringing food, just for the flight. And actually, I had my friends confused. Actually, it wasn't Erin. I was thinking of another. I mean, it wasn't Brianna. It was Erin. Erin Cahill. She was like a Power Ranger at some place like a couple seasons back, and she was so like the most energetic, upbeat person. But once she had the poops, it was kind of like she was just still energetically happy, but not as energetically happy.
I mean,
the poops really takes a lot out of you.
Exactly, it takes it out of you. Oh my gosh!
Literally.
Yeah, but I'm pumped. As you say, it's a great weight loss program for you, especially if you don't want to lose weight. So, oh my goodness,
we're so good. Yeah.
So when
I think one other friend had a problem too with the stomach later, but it was that big. There were no big problems with it.
So food was decent, and you had enough water and all of that. Was there anything that happened over there that you went, boy, I really wish that would not have happened?
You know what? I'll speak for one friend of mine actually. I'll leave her name out of this story definitely. But we're at a latrine, right? We have these latrines that are about 8 feet deep. Little hole in the ground, and you're covered by like a cemented, like 2 or 3 cemented walls that keep you safe in there, right? And so sometimes, the smell wouldn't be the nicest, all these things, right? But the thing is, I was waiting for her to come out the bathroom actually, and this friend of mine, she kind of let it go, if you know what I'm saying. She let it, like I heard sounds that were very unholy. That sounded very, that didn't sound human. And then I said something like, hey, you gotta let it out, let it out. And then she was like, oh, Sean, you're still there? You're right there? Oh my God. And she was so embarrassed that I heard the sounds of her butt talking in the latrine. It was so funny. It was really funny. So that was the only thing really.
It's gonna happen,
It's gonna happen. We all bonded big time on this trip. We bonded hugely.
You probably have lifelong blood friends for life after this. It's like we have to do a pinky swear and all of that. So don't go on a radio show and talk about that ever, Sean. Okay, I won't ever do that. So I have no idea what you're talking about. So let's talk about you've got a new school that you're trying to raise money for, and you've also got an event coming up at the W Hotel. If I'm reading all of your stuff correctly, what's happening up at the W Hotel, and when is that happening?
All right. So actually, we're actually had to reschedule the dates of it right now. So it's still in planning, right? We're really excited about it. Apparently, you know what? No, let me tell the reason for it first, actually. Let me not get too excited about the actual event. So this organization a friend of mine started up called Fitness for Purpose, right? She basically picks a charity every now and again and does a whole month of working out at different venues across L.A. in order to raise money for that charity, right? So this month she happened to be wanting to join Build On and join the next trek we're going to have to go to Nepal and build a school over there, right? So then the thing was, I find myself really inspired by this, and I decided to take on this 22-day fitness challenge. Oh my gosh! And boy, are my arms tired. But I had to go for it. I love corny jokes. I am that guy. So anyway, the W Hotel is kind of this beautiful venue in LA. In case people haven't heard of it, it's really it's luxurious. Let me tell you why. Because they have washcloths in the bathroom.
I know.
Any place that has those, right? It's classy. You're classy. Anyway, we're actually going to celebrate the ending of our fitness challenge. We just finished it maybe 3 days ago, and we're excited to actually have Reebok be a sponsor also. Reebok is going to be sponsoring and will be there in attendance. They gave us these free shoes, and we used their yoga mats for a couple of the workouts and really great stuff. They supported us really good. Vega is also a sponsor. And have you heard of Vega, by the way?
I don't know. No. So
My
who's
goodness,
Vega?
check this out. Vega is this 100% plant-based athletic and nutritional product. And they do, all these like vitamin enhancer things or smoothies and drinks and really good healthy food stuff. Oh my God, my poop comes out great after eating some Vega, let me tell you. But
there you go.
they sponsor them. I'm not going to say poop again, I promise.
We've got a half an hour. You have plenty of opportunities, so that's fine.
I can't believe you encouraged me. Some of my friends actually want me to talk less about poop in my life.
Okay.
You're amazing. You're a friend for life as well now. So yeah, Vega hopped on board, and Representative of Vega came to our yoga class that we did one time also, another yoga class, and they gave us a free supply of this large protein shake and a bag and a shaker cup and all this great stuff, and so they'll be there at the event too. And also, I don't know how, Sarah Vakil is the organizer and creator of Fitness for Purpose. She also was able to get Demi Lovato's people on board.
Nice.
And so, they're going to come and support, and we're trying to organize an artistic, variety show also and make that happen. So it's going to be a very meaningful night. It's going to have a very super entertaining night also feel to it. But then the real important aspect is to bring it all together for the kids in Nepal and make sure that's what it's focused on.
I love it. Now, one thing that we're going to do different on this show, Sean, than we did last time, we actually have a sponsor for the show, Rainbow Brew, out of Minneapolis,
wow.
St. Paul. And so we're going to go to a real quick commercial break. 30 seconds, folks, rainbowbrew.com. But here is their official commercial, and we'll be right back after this.
When it comes to coffee, freshness is queen. That's why Rainbow Brew believes you should have the freshest coffee, roasted to order in small batches and delivered to your door within a couple days. Whether you're purchasing for a coffee shop, restaurant, or home, Rainbow Brew is your one-stop shop for fair trade and organic coffee. Offering many unique blends, including AM 950's own Blue State blend. That's Rainbow Brew, the Queen Bean, a proud sponsor of the Morning Grind. Online at rainbowbrew.com. Brew something good today.
Yay! Go buy Rainbow Brew. Their coffee really is good. And they brew it, they grow all these beans up in Minneapolis, St. Paul. I don't know why you would grow coffee up there, but they do. And then they grind it up and ship it all over the world. So it's very, very cool.
Wow.
When we do this event up at the W, and what kind of a time frame? Is this going to be like an all-day event? Is it going to be an evening event? What can people expect when they get ready to do this?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to be an evening event. We're going to have some red carpet and really great people from all types of things coming in through, and we're still setting all of that up right now as we speak. Yeah, it's going to be a very nice, fancy night, but then really casual in the atmosphere, I feel,
Well, the typical Hollywood red carpet where people I can't really say this, Sean, but we both know it's true. You go to red carpet events and everybody says dress up and wear a tuxedo, and you have people with jeans and T-shirts that still show up and go on the red carpet.
Yeah,
so, but
very
yeah,
true.
so,
very true.
But make sure it's at least a washed T-shirt, and jeans don't have too many holes in them, I guess.
Hygiene.
Yeah, please.
Underrated.
Exactly. So now, do you have a date for your new trip to Nepal?
Yeah, actually it's going to be leaving, I believe, around September 27th to October 6th. That's when we officially leave. And I'm fundraising right now. I still have it's coming up. It's coming up. Yeah. Anyone who wants to still wants to donate and help me fundraise, they can go to my site, letsbendreality.com, and the links are right there for you to donate. And you could donate a brick, and actually we'll put the name of a family member or someone you love and honor on this brick, so it stays with that school, and their memory lasts on forever, every generation. And it's really one of the most meaningful gifts you can give someone. Not just the gift of education, but the gift of actually donating to something that's going to change the world, guaranteed. And it's really beautiful. So I really invite everyone to give as much as they can, whatever they can feel affordable. Afford to give, basically.
Well, and for everybody who's listening, on the show page today on Rated G Radio, there is a link to Sean's website. So I make it really easy for you. You don't have to say,
convenient.
what was that link? I can't write that fast. I was driving. You don't have to All you're going to do is click the link, and it's take you right to Sean's website, and then you can buy a brick or support in lots of probably bigger ways as well if you're so inclined to encourage. So that's fun.
Actually, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you're interviewing me. That's right. I should share what I want to share because you're asking me questions. That makes sense. Actually, I just talked to Ubi, ub.com. Have you heard of them? Ubi.
I haven't. So another company. Who's
amazing
Ubi?
company. Oh, my gosh. My friend Justin Wolf, he's basically co-founded it, and he made it happen. This is like the Toms of school supplies. They basically, whenever you buy school supplies from this company, they give school supplies to schools that need it, to kids that need it all across the U.S. And I believe he said he's at around, I think he said 500,000. I think 400 to 500,000 kids have been donated to all these school supplies. And this is only their first year of being like up and running as a company. So I've even worked with them and did like a newsletter flyer about like poetry and for all the teachers that love UB. And he actually donated $1,000 to school supplies to the last school that we built in Malawi. The thing is, why I brought that up is that any business or organization can also do a donate matching program, where whatever you donate, your boss can match it or your company will match it, and it's all tax deductible, all that friendly stuff. So I really invite people to get behind it and just get excited about it, because this kind of thing, how often does it happen that someone that's going to go do something like this, and I'm loving that I can be that vessel for people and just spread service and change like that. Sometimes it feels like it's too much to handle. Like, I don't want to build a school. That's a lot. But if I give $5 to this guy, he's going to go build a school. That's great. Okay. It's just whatever way makes you feel comfortable in giving. It's all about giving, man.
It takes a village. Sean, hey, okay, so let me ask you this. So what does $1,000 mean to a school like that, as far as how many people it will touch and reach and impact, all the good stuff?
Wow. Well, the team of 15 people, right? We each have to raise about $2,000, so it's around $30,000 to even build the school and have it constructed. Engineering, all that stuff, and that alone is just the building part, right? And then the teachers that are there that are going to be part of the village that actually already like teachers or trained to become teachers or are in school right now to teach. It's really been a powerful experience to see the updates of these videos of schools that have already been built, right? And I'm seeing like all these kids that never thought they would have an education. You get to see these kids light up with this passion for life that maybe they didn't know they could have before. You get to see the father even learning in a school, because sometimes some schools will actually offer adult classes also. Some of the adults don't know how to read in these villages, right? And then on top of that, every school that Build On makes every year, right, there's actually a mandatory charter that everyone has to agree that whoever's attending the school, building the school, they all have to agree that an equal amount of boys and girls will attend this school. So you're also supporting gender equality.
I love that. So when you get ready to go build schools and you're over there in these villages and you're talking to these, both the parents or just adults and the kids, is there one particular subject that they're like, I can't wait for me to be able to learn this? Are there different subjects that people are telling you? Because I'm sure it's not like, I'd like to learn fashion design. There's probably more basic stuff like reading and writing.
I wasn't ready for that one. I don't think you know how funny you are. So no, not really. It's kind of it's primary school, so yeah, it's the basic rudimentary things to learn, and it's really, man, I'd say one person said they wanted to become a driver, right? This one girl that was in my host family, she was one of the sisters, and I was like, wait, what does that mean? You want to be a driver? Wait, you want to be a taxi driver? You want to chauffeur people? I didn't know what that meant for a second.
Right.
And then she said, no, she said, I want to actually just own a car and be able to drive places.
Oh,
and I was like, oh,
wow.
okay, well, that's not really a job. That's not really a profession to have a job. I mean, to have a car. I mean, and then we went into it further about wanting to be a nurse. And then of course my thing was, well, why do you want to be a nurse when you can also be a doctor if you want? And just to make sure that they know that awareness of what they could be and what they, have the opportunity to be is usually even from what they give themselves. So it's, it's sometimes up to us with higher awareness to be like, you know what? No, you don't have to just be that. You can be that too if you want. If you want, of course, Yeah.
What kind of lights go off for these kids when you start? Let me back up here. Do they have any idea what an education will offer them as far as opportunities that they will potentially have in their life, or is that something that you impart with them during your journey building the foundation?
No. That's in terms of I'd say the families there and the village. They even have like village meetings and things like that. I mean, we can only do so much there to inspire them to want to learn, want to educate. Like, usually, actually, let me tell you the process is Bill Don will go to the Ministry of Education of any country they're going to want to help build a school at, right? And it usually takes, I'd say, a good amount of time to find out what villages or what groups of people there really even want a school to be built for them. So some people will say they want a school, and maybe not a lot of people will show up in that meeting. Or sometimes they'll say, we're here to offer a school to a village who needs it. And then so many people from that village will show up and say, we're ready for this. We're ready for this opportunity. We will make it happen. And that's really part of the whole issue right there, right? Is you're not trying to force a gift onto someone.
They've already bought in. Yeah.
They've already won it. Yeah. So a lot of people there, they already know the value of education. It's not like we're trying to, please learn, please, no, they already are set and ready to take advantage of this and make sure that everyone in their village benefits from education, big time.
So and I forget what you told me the last time you were on, Sean. Can you tell the listeners how you ended up getting involved in doing this? Because it's, you've gone to, you've lived here in Southern California and you've done all these really cool things, but it's not common. At least you're the first person I know that says, you know what, I'm just going to go overseas and build schools for these people, and I'm going to help try to make the world a better place. So when did you wake up and go, this is going to be my day?
All right, so man, good. You were good. Okay, so a friend of mine, Travis Van Winkle, right? A lot of people know him from the show The Last Ship, which is a new season right now. Tune in. What? Plug. Anyway, this guy, we are hanging out. We got to plug it. How else will we share things, right? We got to plug it.
There you go.
So this guy was telling me about his last trip he took, and it was in the same country. It was in the same country, Malawi, that he built a school over there. And he showed me this footage, man. He showed me this footage of them getting water, of him hanging out with the family, of just the whole atmosphere of the trip. And then there was one part of the story where he told me the family was so grateful to him and his team that came over there to give them the school and build the school with them, that they would pray over him every night, and it would bring almost the whole family to tears, and him, just how much they cared about his life and how much they wanted it to be protected and cared for. And they gave him so much love. And I started to get teary-eyed listening to this this chanting they were doing, this prayer. And I saw it. I saw the impact. I saw the bigger picture of that little moment in time and how it related to giving education and making sure that it's not just a privilege, but it's a right, to have education for everybody on this planet. And that's when I said, hey, man, next time you do anything like this, please let me know, please. And so it was about maybe 6 months to a year later, he said, yeah, it's that time. I'm planning the trip. I'm getting, people on board. Would you want to be invited? Would you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, that's what I said. I said, yeah. At the same time, I'm like, wait, this is really happening. It took me a second. But no, I knew to prepare myself for this even more. I'd lived in China. I lived in China for 8 months, and I felt like I already could understand the leaping of my own culture and all that stuff. It wasn't that big of a problem for me. You know what I mean? So it was a thing of now, like, wow, this is another community I can co-create and be a part of. This is another way, like you said, that just help the world be a little bit better, in my time that I have here. And it really made it feel a lot more real to see and know someone that already did it, that already went through it. I think that's also it, just seeing, oh wow, okay, this happened. I'm seeing it in my eyes. Boom.
Don't you also kind of have like then a little bit of a security blanket, because then you got your buddy that's going. It's not like, okay, I'm going to fly off to this strange land. I don't know anybody. At least you get your buddy there with you to say,
very
breathe. It's going to be okay. And then you get through it and you go like, that was great. See you later. I'm off. And then, you can go
that's
do your
true.
own.
Yeah.
So
half the people I went with on this trip, I knew them from somehow previous instances or something like that. Yeah, you're right. It did make that feel a lot more like a family vacation almost. Yeah.
You're already bonded with your friends, really, in a sense. And when you go, do you pick the new locations that you're going to, or do they say, I think I'd like to go to Nepal next. I've never been to Nepal. It's on my bucket list. I mean, do you do that, or is it kind of like, hey, we've got to, this is where we're going to go next, and this is what we'd like to do?
Yeah, between Skylar is the main our main contact with Build On. So between him and Travis, Travis also graduated to he's an ambassador also of Build On. So he's really been putting a lot of love and work into this organization, right? But between those two guys, they've been leading our team, our group of wherever we go and build next. And and it's any place they pick is from the Build On list of countries that have such a high, illiteracy rate or high poverty rate that, any location we go to, it's really going to be about that,
So how many of these?
Nepal, Africa, it's nice, but it's really about the education, wherever they need education.
And how many of these trips have you gone on so far?
Oh, that was just my first one in Malawi. That was my very first one.
This was your first one? You say that you talk about this so amazingly, like this is, I do this all the time. I didn't realize that, Sean.
Yeah, I know. That's why I wanted to tell you. That's why I wanted to be share this with you, because it was such a huge moment of my life. I was like, I want this recorded. I want this to be shared with you and the world. I saw you interview my friend Luis Nariño. I was like, I love the way you talk with people. I love the dialogue you have. So yeah, I was like, you were the guy. You were the guy. I'm so blonde. You'd think the blonde is actually natural here, Sean, but I'm telling you, I thought, he does this all the time. It's like every quarter he gets on another plane and he's headed off to another. Okay, so wow. Well, I'm really proud of you for doing that. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Okay, so financially, is there a different commit from going to country to country just based on the cost of, it's the cost of doing business, but like airfare and stuff? Is the $2,000, does that cover your airfare and meals and that type of stuff?
No, it does not. Because then you're raising money for yourself to go travel different places of the world. Yeah, you still have to cover your flight and also a logistics fee of about $800 or so, and that covers like the translators, the places you stay before and after the village. Because sometimes people will get into the village, but then you actually have to stay at a hotel or a hostel before you even have time to get to the village. Like I said, that 8-hour bus ride.
Right.
We actually took one 8-hour bus ride to get to one place, and then the next day we took another 8-hour drive to get to another hotel place. And that's the next day after that is when we actually got to the village. So it's covering the expenses of all that stuff and food and medical care, insurance, stuff like that. That's covered within that fee. They have a great medical team on board, all that kind of stuff too.
So you've got to raise, let's say, like the $2,000 to go do your foundation building for the schools.
Right.
How do you pay? I mean, if you don't want to go into that, that's fine. But how do people pay for the airfare and that $800 logistics fee and all of that? Is that just out of their own pocket? They hit their family.
Oh yeah. Sometimes, usually people will do it out of their own pocket, or you can do your own fundraising for it. Also, you can do. They even make a fundraising site for you on the Build On website page. So buildon.org. That's the main website that has all the information about what they do, and then they have a separate fundraising website where you can see all the teams that are right now. There's so many teams right now that are building, like raising money to build schools right now. And so it was really interesting to see how that works out. And yeah, some people raise money for just the school, and they're like, I'll pay for the fee because, I'm going to pay for the flight. Because they usually want to go travel other places afterwards or around there, and it's not just about the school, right? So sometimes it can be about, getting your own time away after that, before that, having that reflection time. I did that going to Cape Town afterwards, and I definitely knew I wanted to just like relax and break down a little bit. It was really a good time, actually. And so, that might be your time to see more of the world also. So the education is a focus, but then with the flight stuff, and you're paying all this money to go travel, of course, you want to invest in that too in an intelligent way.
So when you get done with this project, I know you've been getting updates and that type of stuff. So you go and build a foundation, and what exactly does that entail? Is that I'm assuming they've probably got the area that you're going to have the school built on, probably roped off or scaled off or something like that. So you've got some place to go. What is the process like once you actually have your feet on the ground and day one? All the pleasantries aside, you've had your breakfast, and now it's time to get to work. Right. What happens?
Yeah, so right after breakfast we go to work, actually. We started around 8, usually around between 8 or 9 a.m., and we'd work until maybe right before sun goes down, so we'd still have time to eat. But it was a good, a good 5 to 6, 7 hours or so. Like, we'd work each day, passing bricks to get them to the site. There was the digging of this latrine. We also built 2 latrines also. Oh my gosh! I just had flashbacks to doing that, actually. A lot of shoveling, a lot of just making sure the dirt doesn't go back in to the 8-foot hole you're building. What else was it? And then walking up that mountain I told you about, getting rocks. We had to get water also and pump our own water. So some people would be on water duty doing that, and just bring buckets of water back and forth. And then what else? And then planning the placements of the bricks and everything, and doing the mortar and pasting the cement down. There was all of that. All of that, we were doing that every single day. Just each day there.
Now, because I know that you have a lot of skills and talents, but is engineering one of them, or do you have certain people that are brought on to each of these types of excursions because of their skill set?
Oh, no, not at all. This is for anyone. Again, this is couples have done this for their honeymoon. They've gone to build a school, to help build the foundation of a school on their honeymoon. So the thing is, the engineer is part of what you're paying for, actually, in the school, in the fundraising. So all you have to do is really go there and do what they ask you to do.
And they'll tell you what
or it'll be taught to you. It's really simple. Really simple.
And the reason I ask is because if you asked me how to go build a building, it would not be standing up after the first windstorm or the first rain or anything. So it's not like, come on, let's just, it'll be fun. So you actually have, skilled people there telling you, okay, this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to do it.
Right. And you know what? A friend of mine, we talked about that whole process, actually, of the grunt work, right? We call it grunt work sometimes.
Sure.
But if we had a crane flown in and all these things, and made the school in less than a month or something, then it wouldn't create the community that we're striving for. It wouldn't have the same result and effect of us working together there and sweating with each other and laughing with each other as, someone drops a brick on their foot and we all crack up. It's like we wouldn't have those moments then. So that was also a part of the whole Build On philosophy, is that you're working and breaking your back with other people that are working just as hard as you to make something beautiful happen.
I love it. Sean, I'm going to have us kind of wrap up because here's the deal. We had on the Friday night dance party this past week, we had Ruth Weber with the San Diego Jewish Men's Choir promoting their brand new album, Kochi. It ended up being the #1 hot new release for Middle Eastern music this week on the charts, believe it or not. So I'm going to play one of their songs as we kind of go out of the show for our outro here. So we've got, let's say, 2 minutes left. What else would you like people to know? What's important for them to keep in mind, and remind people how they can be involved or maybe even go with you next time?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, so buildon.org is the site. If you have any questions about anything, please contact me on my website. It has a contact form, email list, sign up, all that good stuff. I have multiple books, and I'm selling shirts now, actually. So poetic shirts that say things like, in my war, everyone truly lives, or let's bend reality, right? Or really beautiful, uplifting, powerful poetic quotes. And any book or CD you buy on my site is going to help me, actually, for my flight to get to Nepal. So please, if there's a product that you like, please check it out. I'm an award-winning, spoken word artist, if that matters to you, if that gives me credentials. I host birthday parties and weddings. I'm doing a lot of stuff, doing workshops. I want to do everything I can to make sure I can make this, again, another trip possible for people to have education. And I'm all about positivity, passionate perspective, and just everything that's good in the world that I remember and hold on to so I can give it more powerfully to other people. So if that's something people like or whatever, let's be friends on Facebook.
There you go. Well, Sean, yes. I'll tell you, you've got a new fan out of Tony G. out of Hackensack, New Jersey tonight. He's pinging me going, he's a great guest. And I'm like, well, of course. He's on, Rated G Radio. So, Tony, you need to request Sean and then, send out all kinds of wild tweets about what a great job he's doing. So, Sean, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
I can't, I don't think we're going to, if I get a chance to shake your hand in person, I absolutely want to do it, but I don't think I get the chance to have you back on the show until probably after you get back from Nepal, so we should book that and then talk about your experience again, because you are totally fun.
Good.
I love having you here. And, you're the best.
Man, I love you, man. And also, you're invited to this Friday night. I'm doing a show at the Sofitel in Beverly Hills. So, everyone's invited. Please, man, if you can make that, I'd love to see you, man. I'd love to see you.
Okay, so make sure to post something about that on Facebook, and I'll share it, and then I'll see what I can do as far as the calendar goes, because that would be totally cool.
Not a problem. You're a busy man, too. I know.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep up with you. When I see your schedules, I got to add 6 things to my day, because I've got to be keeping up with Sean. So.
I think we're all trying to catch up with Blonde Jesus over here, okay?
Yeah, there we go.
Lucky you, loving the world.
Yeah, Mutual Admiration Society now in session. Okay. So everybody, it's been Sean Hill. Go check out his website. Buy some of his products, CDs, T-shirts, that kind of stuff. That's going to pay for his flight, accommodations, and things like that to get him over there. Or go buy a brick or 100 off of the site as well, and that will help actually fund the building of the schools. Sean, you're a champ. I appreciate you so much. And this is a little bit of the San Diego Jewish Men's Choir. This is called Zum Gali Gali, and we will see you live on Thursday's show with Hollywood filmmaker Robert Hensley. He's going to be talking about a new film he's working on as well. Have a great night, everybody.
Ciao.
been listening to Rated G Radio.